We're bringing it in for one last series. Zero Tenacity versus Loyalty. We are heading into our first game. Again, coming to both of these teams, Dan, I'm really coming in with a blank slate about what to expect for bans and picks. If there's anything like we've seen from the last few series, maybe we won't see as much prominence on Elsa, maybe? But even then, I feel like it's a reset for what we know.
I mean, it's a big question mark in terms of what these teams are comfortable with. So it's just going to come into the ban draft, see what they decide to go for here. And it's going to be a trade of Elsa Gambit once again. But Zero Tenacity get the chance to go for the save. Do they go for the one-sided Gambit? We have seen one team stray away from this Gambit ideology. But Zero Tenacity are just going to make sure that they get at least one win condition at their belt.
Keeping it safe, playing it real, Gambit locked in for Zero Tenacity's side. Daredevil ban coming out from Loyalty. I think that makes a lot of sense for Hell's Heaven. There's a lot of nooks and crannies for Daredevil to sneak and go for flanks. Maybe we won't see as much Namor or even counter flank potential from Loyalty's side, especially if they want to prioritize their own dive potential too. They won't have as much watch out for their backline.
Yeah, and with the Gambit being enabled for Zero Tenacity, how does Loyalty decide to treat this ban draft? You need to ban out the Loki. You need to ban out the Star-Lord if you even have chances. But Loyalty now down to their final ban. They're not even going to get a chance to ban out the Loki. I think Zero Tenacity might just get the Gambit Loki one-sided.
Okay, very interesting so far. Invisible Woman reserved. The Van Pool is at Loyalty's side. The plan now for Zero Tenacity, they've definitely had their focus on strategic bans plus Elsa. They could just ban whatever they want, man.
I mean, I think the best option is to ban the Loki.
Yeah,
because you don't want to risk Loyalty being able to steal away Zero Tenacity's one-sided Gambit ultimate, because if Loyalty's had access to that Loki and were able to get some sort of angle to get a copy onto the enemy Gambit, it could turn the tide, and Zero Tenacity are going to utilize their final save for the Mantis instead of the Loki.
A Gambit reserve, a Mantis reserve.
Okay, the
wow.
Loki still goes through.
But you don't have the Star-Lord Gambit combo
Wait,
anymore.
that's just a triple strategist of Gambit, Loki, and Mantis.
I mean,
you have the team-up ability with the Mantis and the Loki. You get damage amplification on the regen domain.
Oh, no.
How in the world is Loyalty going to beat this?
Okay, over, under. How long do we think this first game will take?
Ooh, it might just be a 0 to 100 shutout both rounds at this point, because, oh my goodness, Zero Tenacity just have so many tools to work with. And Loyalty... I need to see what they're cooking up right now, because the ban draft isn't doing so hot right now.
Surely they're going to prioritize damage, right? Like, you kind of have to if you have all three of those strategists up against you. Zero Tenacity choose not to go for Loki. They have the Ultron instead and Invisible Woman. They have a whole litany that they can work with. To circle back really quick, our quickest in-game timer we've had so far today was 5 minutes on Shin Shibuya. And with Zero Tenacity doing pretty dang well in the drafts, I kind of think it'll be similar. What's up?
I'm seeing what Loyalty are cooking up. They're thinking about going for the kidnap composition. Get Scape on the portal, maybe get a Penny Parker to get the explosion down. But they're not going to go for that aggressive approach. They're just going to go for the positional route. Make sure to get the portal, maybe up into the high ground, or just cut off main, but they're going to choose to go for the former, so they're just going to take control of the high ground, while Zero Tenacity are just going to walk it down main and try to scout out what Loyalty are cooking up.
I like this style, a lot of reposition value. Keep an eye on Marvel, the Rogue, to see how they can initiate. Alternative route, though, from Zero Tenacity, knowing full well that this team has all the upper level control. Just a matter of seeing if Rogue can get away, and she does! Instantly in! That's gonna be huge and gone. The Namor, the anti-dive, dove down and destroyed completely, and so is the Venom! Oh my lord! Marvel just keeps on going! It's a wipeout completely! The portal strat completely dissolved!
Yeah, and Zero Tenacity, thanks to Marvel, just goes right up into Yugen's face. I don't think Yugen even had time to use the Blessing of the Deep to save himself from the sheer amount of burst damage coming in.
It was completely unexpected.
Yeah, exactly. And Zero Tenacity now with Visor and Wendy on the Gambit Loki, they still have a chance to go for the Mantis combo, but for now, Zero Tenacity are going to go for the triple Vanguard lineup with Marvel on the Rogue, and the Gambit teaming up with this Rogue as well is just going to provide so much damage and so much healing output as well.
No, Marvel is a monster. It's just a shutdown. You put them into a small condensed box. There's no escape. That's an instant stagger. The white box is gone. Invisible Woman relegated back to spawn too. Any distance you just made, lost completely. You have to go back to spawn and wait for your strategists.
Unless Loyalty find some sort of huge pick down, maybe right here actually with Wufo and Yugen looking to get behind of Zero Tenacity. They're just creeping on through. Thankfully, Zero Tenacity don't have access to the Daredevil, so they're not going to be able to be scouted easily. It's just all sound cues for Zero Tenacity, and the map moves. And, oh gosh.
No.
Okay, so their plans are going to get foiled for a little bit, but at least they are able to find the high ground. But Wendy is able to get the copy off the Gambit, is able to get the Royal Flush down. He just needs to hide and let the rest of Zero Tenacity cook.
This might have happened, though. Isolated Arrow, that's not long for this world when it comes to Wolverine, Marvel, Excalibur all over. That's an entire wipe again. Loyalty is gone. Their little great escape through the vents of Hell's Heaven did not work out, man.
And look at Zero Tenacity, they're going for the close hold to make sure that Loyalty, if they want to break through Zero Tenacity, they have to use ultimates in front of their own spawn.
Oh, no.
And as much as it sucks, it's the only way for Loyalty to get themselves back in. The portal's not even back off cooldown. Actually, it is. No, it's not even off cooldown, but there is a back cap happening, so it does trigger overtime to the likes of Access, but it's not going to be enough. It's just going to be a shutout here in round one.
Good lord. I mean, we were so focused on the potential strategist comp that we could see from Zero Tenacity. We didn't even consider the rogue pick from Marvel coming in and completely setting tempo for the entirety of this match.
Yeah, this is true, but to be fair, the Rogue being untouched through the bad draft as well as the Magneto just means that if this Gambit is one-sided pick, that just allows Zero Tenacity to take advantage of that team up, which is still so strong. It went relatively untouched throughout the Season 7 patch notes, and with how strong it is, Zero Tenacity are going to take full advantage of it. Loyalty have to find a different approach. Maybe it's the thing to ground Eggsy if he wants to go for those execution moves.
I don't know. I'm looking at this new Psylocke pick coming out, and I think the hit scan enough could be good. Looks like we'll see Portal kidnap from Loyalty this time around. Maybe the best idea here could be to force out Zero Tenacity to use ults early before cap.
Got it?
We'll see. Jay-Z is also prepping the Invisible Woman to use the Force Physics to get them pulled through the portal. Zero Tenacity, though, are also going to invest the portal themselves. Here we go. Is the kidnap going to work out this time around? Nope. It's going to at least draw out Zero Tenacity's Raging Royal Flush. But Wendy is just going to get a random frag onto Wuvo. I think, what is happening right now? Zero Tenacity have angles on both sides of the portal.
It is a death box everywhere. Defensive portal to give a shield off of Wendy. Wendy still finds an opening, pick off of it. Yugen goes down, finds two. That's a great way to levy the stifling bleeding. It's Agamotto everywhere. Portal ultimate's on top. We turn into an instantaneous battlefield. And Zero Tenacity, no one's been able to cap, but at least ZT is close.
The synergy is absolutely perfect. As soon as Soko went for the Eye of Agamotto, Bison was quickly there to follow up with the anti-heal, with the Gambit. And with the invisible boundary coming up, the anti-heal was enough to get 2 quick picks. And with that momentum, Zero Tenacity looked to just take over this first fight.
Agamotto, escape, where are you? Can it be brought out? You get in trouble, needs to get away, cannot do so. Z is popping off onto the Zylok. Everywhere you go, 1v1s galore. And Z can easily just pop an escape and get away.
Yeah, XC is just in the middle of a team, just bobbing and weaving in and out. Loyalty looking for different adjustments now. Escape and Wuvo could combo with the Eye of Agamotto into the Endsong Inferno. Axis is also preparing the clobbering time as well. It's just a matter of time if Zero Tenacity can weather the storm of ultimates and are able to counteract what this aggression Loyalty are trying to throw at.
Great double kill, KO early on. ZT now having no vanguards except for Marvel to work off of. Shields are gone. Gambo making things even worse. That's going to be a lack of strategists onto the battlefield. Loyalty finally have a chance to breathe.
Oh? What is Marvel doing?
It's
Kind
just
of
doing Marvel
just
things.
he's just sitting in the back line.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's on
Is
the
he
other
gonna
side
wait
of the
for
map.
Heartbreaker and just completely flank?
That's got to be the plan, but Marvel is still have to navigate 15% of his way to a Heartbreaker ultimate, and he's just gonna go down at 92%.
That did not work out well. Unlucky there. Invisible Boundary is out now. Plenty of opportunities now for Loyalty, seemingly getting their feet planted into the heels here.
Oh
Getting
my
things
god,
back.
another
Agamoto's
egg.
out. But is that going to be enough though? Cleanse
no.
for one. Wuvo was gone, but even then, there's plenty of ults for Loyalty to back this up. And Soko and company, they're losing ground. They're forced to tuck tail and run.
Yep, and Marvel gets caught up by the clobber in time. As soon as he comes back into the fight, he just gets taken straight back to the spawn room. And finally, Loyalty are getting the momentum that they need. Already at 55% and climbing here. As Zero Tenacity, will they have time to invest in a portal play once again? That's going to be the big question mark, as how is this team going to rotate onto the site, go for a retake opportunity. Marvel even had the Heartbreaker in that fight, but thanks to Access with the clobber in time, was just able to shut it down before it became a problem. But with Zero Tenacity with these 3 ultimates, is able to counteract the aggression coming in from Loyalty.
Might be dropping in one by one, far too quickly now.
Oh,
Look at that HP,
Marvel.
things are looking good. Dance of the Butterflies underway, Regeneration
Okay.
Domain stifling some of the damage being brought out, but slowly but surely ZT, they're taking bodies left and right. Z takes down the thing, Escape is gone too. Z again pops off, that's gonna be the entire front line dissolved.
Yeah, all of Zero Tenacity are just doing what they can to just provide as much resources as possible to Eggsy. He's the only duelist on the team piloting the Psylocke, and he's already positioning himself to get some sort of backline assassination already.
This is good. No chance for Dance
look
of the
at him go.
Butterflies just yet, but they have to wait for Bizer to go for this Raging Royal Flush to initiate again to make sure
Oh my
no
God.
one can get close. It's all down to this Gambit. 98, 100%. I'm ready for
we
it,
go.
baby. Heartbreaker, consider it a heart attack. Close down everything. And there it is. A sacrificial play coming up from Yujin. Sure, they fall, but at the same time, so does the rest of Loyalty.
Oh my goodness. Quick as you like it. Zero Tenacity get the retake down. They know that the Strange Portal is available, but are they able to get the crowd control that they need to get them through? No. It's going to be used, and it's going to cut off the main area here. But Wendy does have the copy with the Gambit ultimate. Everything is just flying. Oh my god!
Oh, no!
6-man Eye of Agamotto! What in the world? Soko, you madman! What?
That's it. There's no chance left.
No,
Agamotto,
no,
Meteor
no.
M. The
What?
ultimate Vanguard dream come true.
Oh, and that's it! Zero Tenacity with Soko at the helm. Get the map win. Oh, I can't do this. Oh my god, what
Hey,
in
we
the
said 5
world?
minutes in game. What was this one? That was incredible work from Zero Tenacity. I am such a big Rogue fan. Whenever we get to see her at this level of play, always pop off potential. But not even just like the macro, right, that we saw from ZT. The fact that they could extend the elastic of how far each player could play and still coordinate as a team was stretched thin, and they still made it durable.
I'm supposed to recap what in the world just happened, but my mind is just branded at Soko's 6-man Agamotto. How in the world did you pull that off? A multi-man Agamotto at the highest level is already rare enough, but catching the entirety of Loyalty? Hello?
Unbelievable.
That is unheard of. I think that was the first 6-man I've ever seen at the professional level.
That's... what an introduction for Soko. Hello, Preseason.
Hi.
And then Jerry on top, mwah, having that Meteor M to crush down. I think that was a double KO. Wonderful work, man. Okay, that's game 1. Potentially only one more for today. Z10, if they can continue this, it might be a very quick series.
Yeah, so far, Zero Tenacity are utilizing their external talents to their utmost advantage, right? You got Soko and Bizer coming in from the Americas region. We've seen them play in the on teams like Odyssey, like Ego Death, most notably Ego Death, where they did put up a respectable result back in the Mega Monthly, and now they get signed on to Zero Tenacity overseas. They have to overcome latency, they have to overcome this language barrier, and so far, it's looking to be already like smoothed out, ready to go here into the preseason of Ignite.
Hey, look, if you have to wear ankle weights to have that ping diff so far and you can still pull off heroics like that, imagine what they can do on land.
Oh my gosh. No, exactly, right? This team is just already so talented, and you could see with a dominant 2-0 inside of map number 1, it's going to be up to Loyalty now to see how they want to adapt to this team that is already going in guns blazing.
I mean, surely it won't be convergence, right? You don't want to deal with any more domination points after what just happened.
I think just stop them from getting the Gambit Loki. That was already a big problem.
You know what? I'll be honest, I was so mesmerized by the gameplay, dude. I completely forgot that we had seen some of the most outrageous bans coming out from that first series. There's a lot to talk about, but we need to catch our breaths. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few moments. There's no kind of intro that I can give you after the heroics that we just saw for game number 1. Dan, that was one of the wildest bans for heroes we've seen so far in our small time for this season. Lay down on me, what exactly happened?
Gambit Loki one-sided. That's all you need to know. Zero Tenacity got that, and they just ran away with it. Into the sunset they go. They got the 2-0 shutout win in map number 1, and now Loyalty are behind one map in this best of 3. So if Zero Tenacity pull off one more win, they just get the easy 2-0 sweep and move on with their day. But Loyalty now, they have to think about what they want to go for in terms of their second map. Do they want to go for the dive options and go for a convoy map, or do they want to go for a more defensive bunker down option in the likes of a convergence style of a game mode?
You can't even really say that Loyalty was playing defensive back on Hell's Heaven. They were forced to play reactive every single time. Because, again, of the bans and just the deep arsenal of heroes that we can see ZT play out, they were able to play some of the wildest options we've had so far in Ignite. We saw a Psylocke pop off, dude. That's crazy, man.
Psylocke did get a minor buff here in the Season 7 patch note, but Now, Zero Tenacity are able to just facilitate that to their utmost advantage. But to be fair, like, the Gambit Loki was already influential enough to, at the very least, warrant a shutout inside of map number 1. And that's gonna be the big concern when it comes to the ban draft. Loyalty must not get that Gambit through, especially if Loki is available on the table, because Loyalty didn't even ban out the Loki.
And the Mantis was there too for even more damage
Exactly.
amplification. Like, it was just, that's why we saw Marvel on Rogue essentially one-shot every single person they faced up against. It really felt like Loyalty was so confused in the first point. They did get their bearings together a little bit towards the second. They were able to capture the point and make it fairly high up in the percentage, but once again, all it took was a quick comeback from the heroics of a 6-man Agamotto off of Soko to completely wipe the floor.
Hey, if you want an introduction into the rival scene here in the Pacific region, that is one way to do it. Just
We're
make
unhinged.
it completely. It made me unhinged. I haven't screamed that loud in a very, very long time. And so far, I'm already a fan of Zero Tenacity as a team because they look like a well-oiled machine right off the rip, no less. You know, there would be some growing pains, right? Getting a feel of how both of these teams are, how Zero Tenacity themselves want to utilize their resources, utilize their team compositions, and so far they're looking to have 0 flaws in their team as a whole.
Well, this could be the chance to turn that around, though, for Loyalty's side. Maybe they can find flaws in Zero Tenacity as we go to Game 2, Museum of Contemplation. Luckily, there's no domination-like points here. No conversion for Loyalty to face up against. Hopefully now, depending on which side they start on, we have a little bit of insider info. It looks like Loyalty would be starting on the attack. Hopefully that means they have the chance to set the tempo this time around, because frankly, they never really had the chance to change the tempo away from Zero Tenacity in Game 1.
Yeah, and Loyalty will have a lot of options in terms of spawn break. If we're under the assumption that Zero Tenacity wants to utilize a triple kind of setup, if the Gambit does go through, that allows the Magneto, that allows the Rogue to be able to be picked because of that team up being so prevalent, allowing Magneto to do extra damage, allowing the Rogue to do extra damage, and healing on top of it to boot. Because, well, why not, you know?
Yeah.
It's such a busted team up that Zero Tenacity have already used so well back in map number 1, and now Loyalty need to consider that. Could we finally see a Gambit mirror ban for the first time in a good while? That is something we're gonna have to see when it comes to the ban draft.
Surely. I think if I'm Zero Tenacity right now, I'm feeling so confident that we don't need an Elsa in our drafts. If we see Loyalty go for an Elsa ban first, I mean, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, Dan. I really don't. But I think I would already consider that to be a winning move. For Zero Tenacity.
So far we've seen the one-sided Gambit shine way more brighter than the one-sided Elsa. So I really hope to see a Gambit mirror ban here, because so far we talked about it, right? If a team gets the one-sided Gambit, it's almost always a guaranteed win.
That's right. We've only had one single map so far where that wasn't the case.
Yep, exactly. And I can't say it's a 100% win rate anymore. It's more like maybe 90
99.
to 90. Yeah, 90 to 95 if we're talking
what a
certain
low
mathematics. But still, Loyalty need to lock in on this draft. I mean, we've seen other teams just get absolutely wiped out because of the punishment of the ban draft. And so far, Loyalty have experienced that in map 1, and now when we go into map 2, Loyalty, yeah, you got to make a lot of adjustments, my friend.
It really felt like Loyalty focused a lot more on just damage output for their bans in Game 1 and ignored a lot of the strategic output that could have come out from Zero Tenacity. Which is why we saw the Gambit, we saw the Mantis, and we saw the Loki all brought out towards the bans. And that was a critical mistake against the Loyalty side. So, again, just hoping they change it this time.
Yeah, that's just really the biggest criticism, right? Coming in from Loyalty here. If they do lock in on the ban draft, I think they will have a decent chance at contesting what Zero Tenacity are going for. We saw signs of life there back in round number 2, where Loyalty had a decent grasp of the site, but then, you know, the bad draft came back to bite them in the end.
The Agamotto herd around the world.
Yep, the Agamotto herd around the world. Yeah, you don't see a 6-man Agamotto every day. I'm sure it's already circulating on Twitter. It's already being clipped on Twitch. Well, I have no idea. I don't have time to look at that just yet.
Well, we had a small break, and I was looking to see, like, on social media if it was posted by Rivals Esports yet. The answer, I'm checking right now. No, not yet.
Hey, but at least we got the bad draft here, so we got a lot of things to talk about. Because notably, we're putting a lot of criticism on Loyalty's bad draft choices here. But now when we come in, finally, we see a Gambit mirror ban.
I think this will be a good test to see how Loyalty can respond and adapt after game 1, because you and I, we put a lot of emphasis on bans. I think it's a very important and unique aspect of this game. It was also a really silly one from Loyalty game 1. So I'm glad so far it seems like they're learning their lesson. Double ban on Gambit. The Mantis does come through for Loyalty's side. I think that's fair. It's good.
And now, as we navigate further and further in, Z10 will get the one-sided Elsa here. So lots of damage output already available on Z10's Loyalty. They know that the threat of this Elsa means that Mantis goes through the roof in terms of damage amplification, and Loyalty will be able to ban it out and will get that one-sided Mantis. But now both teams looking to ban at the same time. Loyalty go for Daredevil and Z10 go for the Loki.
Mantis is available. That's right. Deny the team up. Mantis is available now for Loyalty's side. Elsa is available. I wonder if Zero Tenacity is... Elsa's strong, don't get me wrong, but having the Vanpool and Elsa reserved often means that a team on the opposite side may be opting to go for a flyer setup, especially a Museum of Contemplation. We see a lot of Storm. There's the occasional Ultron to go as well. There's a big possibility here that ZT could go for a big shutdown.
This is a really, really good ban. Loki ban in itself is already a good ban, but this is a great ban, especially since Zero Tenacity are on the defensive side. If they wanted to, they could have gone for the Loki, Adam Warlock backline. Make sure you get the double res online, and oh my gosh, Keg, you might have just nailed it perfectly. Loyalty are locking in the Ultron.
That rarely happens. Okay. I mean, I really like the bans coming through from Loyalty's side. I think... It's a complete turnaround from game 1, don't get me wrong, but it feels like it's being super telegraphed now. If ZT had any doubts before the Ultron pick, I think just solidified it. We're going to see a lot of hit scan from ZT.
Yeah, but Loyalty do have all the damage amp that they need in order to go for the spawn break. Zero Tenacity could easily go for a triple kind of setup, but Loyalty, they saved the Mantis and the Ultron, and that's 2 damage amp options that they're going to use at the exact same time. It depends on where they dump the resources onto. Who did they put the 12% damage boost on from the Mantis? Who did they put the Ultron drone providing 10% damage boost onto? And keep in mind, damage amp stacks in this game, so whoever you put it on is just going to be overloaded. And so far, Loyalty are thinking about rolling out maybe perhaps the Phoenix, maybe perhaps the Moon Knight. Both great options in terms of just that sheer damage output to get through that triple spawn break. But Zero Tenacity, they're not going for that triple.
Seems like maybe for defense we'll see the double damage amplification for the Moon Knight, but because they're on attack, I imagine all that's going to be pumped into either Scape or Wuvo.
That probably would be the case. Yeah, Scape or Wuvo would be the best candidates in terms of who you want to dump all those resources onto. But Zero Tenacity looking to get the hold down. They do run a triple Vanguard setup with Soko, Jerry, and Marvel on the 3 Vanguards, but XZ, the sole duelist yet again, rocking the Elsa Bloodstone this time around.
Yeah, this is going to be really good. Baby counter dive here when the Apex Predator, the Large Rocks is available. Marvel's the player I want to keep an eye on the most because they're good at dividing things out. Damage amp or not a Wubo, the opening pick is going to be a huge dub for Zero Tenacity. Off of that, Jerry, a second is good to push on forwards, and immediately Loyalty are stuck in spawn.
Yeah, Zero Tenacity did a great job at covering all the angles that Loyalty could have gone for. You saw Wuvo going up to the high ground on our right side, trying to get some sort of sneaky little pick. But with Marvel just there, marking that territory just means that as soon as Wuvo goes down, the rest of Loyalty just don't know what to do because they don't have one of their main damage dealers out in the fight.
Want to say the shout out to production. I love the little CCTV camera we got there for a second.
That is a great angle indeed, but oh my goodness, Zero Tenacity. Just no mercy at this point for Loyalty.
Oh, just the icing on the top of the cake. Sauko going for selfie after selfie. Gambo's gonna go for the Jeff. The damage amp strat's not working out anymore. Instead, maybe a longer distance could be utilized here to extend out those heals. Maybe? But it seems like, again, that's not really the right prioritization. You need to find a way to activate Wubo, get those opening picks, and find a way to get into the back line. That's going to be down to the Angela to find that impact.
Yeah, but I'm not a huge fan of Jay-Z sticking to the Luna Snow. You still got other options available. You've got Mantis, you've got Ultron, but in a two-strategist lineup, you don't really have any options. Invis Woman would have been the best alternative, but that's going to be banned out. Do Loyalty just go for the Jeff Rocket backline here? But Jay-Z also has Fate of Both Worlds online,
you don't want to
and
waste
I'm sure
all.
he wants to use it. Yeah, he doesn't want to go down to 50% ult charge. Oh my god, okay,
Oh,
goodbye, Wubo.
Wubo, where did you go, buddy? No End-Song Inferno for you. Stay the same. Oh my god, stop, they're already dead. I hate to say it, Dan. I think you have to proc out Fate of Both Worlds right as soon as you step out of squad.
Yeah, you might have to. Yugen goes for the clutch last stand to try to get something, but nothing comes out. They're just getting negative value. They're not getting any sort of room to work with. And Zero Tenacity, you're just swarming between spawn room after spawn room. There's nothing Loyalty can do.
Marvel's just aura farming right in front of the spawn door. That's ridiculous. Where are the heals, man? Like, they're just step out, instantaneously fall.
Wait, it's Jeff. It's
Right?
no.
It's Jeff?
Oh no. Oh, Jerry just shuts it down. Oh, okay.
Okay, and Song Inferno survived. That's good.
Oh,
There's a little bit of iframes there. But even then, Gambo tries to make some initiation. Denied the initiation too, off of ult. The convoy has not moved.
It's only moved about a good 36 meters. Oh no, that's a 3-man Glartrox right into the hands of Zero Tenacity. Make it a 4th, make it 5. Wubo gets an exit trade onto Wendy. It might help them out actually, because Wendy had the invisible boundary online, and with Wubo gone, I don't know if Loyalty find the momentum here.
Do you portal?
I don't know if the portal is going to be worth it just yet, but Loyalty do have a small window. They have a small window to work with here. They have to see if they can find some sort of angle until Wendy gets back onto the site. So as the convoy moves a little bit, yep, that's going to be the extra opportunity that they need. Is it enough though? Invis boundary is let out relatively early actually, and now here comes the counter engage from Zero Tenacity.
Alright, that's one body gone. That's gonna be your lead duelist down, and everyone one by one. Zero Tenacity. It's Thanksgiving, a field day, a feast devouring upon this attack. Wow. Okay, man. 40 meters.
40 meters is all it takes for a full hold for Zero Tenacity. At this point, all Zero Tenacity needs to do is just walk across the street and they take the series 2-0 over Loyalty. But Loyalty, although the percentage is low, but it is not 0, Loyalty can still get a chance to get a full hold down, but it's gonna require a lot of resources and also perfect play coming in for the next 4 minutes here. And how does Loyalty decide to navigate it? You have to get a Warlock in there at the very least.
For sure. You just need a way to extend the fights, make sure that you can always play inside. You can't stagger. You can't afford to stagger at all. Really, you can't afford to lose a fight.
Yeah, that's exactly what needs to happen. Loyalty needs to play to perfection. And can they play perfectly for the next 4 minutes is something we're gonna have to figure out, because
4 minutes, 40 meters.
Yeah, 4 minutes for 40 meters. A very, very tough task to overcome as a... Alright, Wendy, putting up the lemonade stand. We love to see that.
I want some.
Yeah, that'd be fun, but... Oh gosh, we're gonna see another Black Panther here, and I like it. It's a great choice. Yeah, it's a great choice because all Zero Tenacity need to do is just zone away loyalty from the payload and just make sure that it reaches that 40-meter mark. That's all they have to do.
All right, let's see how this plays out, though. Jerry has a little bit more extended space to work off of. Is he going to play for the flank? I like this, though, from Gambo early on. Holding things down, defensive line, having to play a small corner. Surely aware about the Black Panther at this point. Some bodies are taking extensive damage into the front line, but Black Panther in the back goes for one. Maybe make that a second. Could there be the self-resurrect off of this? No, not even. Somehow Muvo survives all of it. Marvel goes for a portal. Probably to go for the severing into the back line.
Oh my god, no.
Oh, no.
Okay, don't do it like this.
Okay.
Don't. Alright. So far.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Oh, no. What is happening? A wild Wuvo appears to deny the portal, but it doesn't deny them from a series win. Zero Tenacity, they take the 2-0 win in what I think is the most comical way possible.
Wow. I have no words, Dan.
Alright. You gotta give respect to Marvel for trying to get a cheese portal down. You gotta give respect to that.
Sure, man. I suppose so, but...
It was a good try.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But either way.
Clean 2-0 from Zero Tenacity. That was a wonderful showcase coming out from them. Full spawn hold. The bus made it 40 meters. We talked about the Shin Shibuya matchup being 5 minutes and 8 seconds long. This one was 5 minutes and 14 seconds long. Loyalty, unfortunately, have to hit the books, and they have to study up a lot going into these next few weeks because individually, all looking pretty good. But Wuvo, your Adam Warlock, had the most amount of elims, being 3.
Yeah, but you gotta give a shout out to Zero Tenacity as well, being able to facilitate both sides of these strong meta team compositions. Zero Tenacity were able to utilize a comp that had the Gambit involved. Now, in map number 2, Zero Tenacity were able to facilitate a comp that helps out the Elsa Bloodstone. Look at Exy with the stats. 29 elims, didn't go down a single time. 14 final hits with 14.5 thousand damage, and that was without any sort of damage amplification.
You don't need it. Even though it was set up to be a
I mean, you don't need it. It's nice to have at this point. Yeah.
Sure, it's just a vanity at that point. So, I mean, at least for our first day, we've been able to see so many teams thus far. I'm trying to do 5 a.m. math. Was that 8 teams that we've countered today? I think so.
Yeah, that is 8 teams.
8 teams.
You got that right. Yeah, we're good.
Thank God. But we've seen 8 teams so far today. We've seen generally how a lot of our teams so far for Pacific are going to play out. Of course, we didn't get to see every team today, but there's so many more that we have to come forwards. I really can't wait, Dan, to see which teams can rise above, especially the teams that lost today, and can learn from their mistakes that they also had for their first day.
Yeah, you can see the amount of strategic depth coming in from the band draft throughout this entire day 1 of preseason, right? If you screw up here in the band draft, you just screwed up your entire map, perhaps the entire series. And one bad move, one bad pick, one bad ban could mean the difference for all of these teams. And so far, we have seen the highs of it, we have seen the lows of it. And as we navigate further and further into Ignite preseason here in the Asia region, we're gonna have to see a lot of adaptation, a lot of evolutions coming in.
I'm trying to think right now, which team would you want to see the most, not improve, but which team do you think has the highest ceiling of capability to make an extensive run so far in the preseason?
I mean, so far, most of the top teams, right? You got XOXO1 doing really, really well in the band draft. You've got just now Zero Tenacity being able to navigate what Loyalty tried to shut down in terms of resources, but Zero Tenacity were just able to be quick to it, able to get those picks down. But I gotta give all the credit to XO, right? They were just they were just approaching the band draft very, very differently.
Yeah, I think so far my top teams that we saw today, XO is absolutely one of them. Zero Tenacity is another. However, I want to put an asterisk and think that Zero Tenacity probably won't have as many dominant wins as they did today. I think other teams will put up a larger fight, and I think Pirates would probably be my third.
Yeah, that would be the case. But again, yes, band draft, that is the name of the game here.
Yeah.
Not only figuring out the strategic side of the game, but you also have to execute it very, very well. And we have seen times where a power pick was one-sided, but it just really didn't work out to their favor. So it really does come down to being able to nail the band draft and also nail the execution. Being able to translate that band draft into a win is what matters here in Ignite.
We've also seen a few opportunities too where teams would have a very silly game 1 band draft, turn it around and have one of the best drafts you could possibly have, and still lose.
And there's a lot of adaptations coming in, but so far it's looking to see the good teams from the best teams, right? In terms of navigating the band draft, just being able to utilize different branches that this band draft really could go towards, because you've got one band draft path where if the Gambit is available, you got one band draft where Gambit is not available, and just these branches is just something great to see in terms of the band draft variety, because so far in Ignite this has been the most amount of variations we have seen, at least in the first half of the band draft, because in last year's Ignite, we haven't really seen too much of that. Usually the first half of those band drafts have been relatively the same.
Yeah, a lot of it's been more meta-defining, but now that we have a year of Ignite under our belts and a litany of MRCs to boot, now there's more opportunities to see counterplays start off, more footage on these teams, more homework for teams to accomplish too. I'm happy that we're moving away from just standard mirror bans.
Yep, and now... Oh boy, that was only day 1.
Yeah, only day 1.
That was only day 1, and now with Zero Tenacity getting that 2-0 win, I'm just happy to see that they're doing so well off the get-go, right? This is a team that has been around the rival scene here in the Asia region since stage 2, and they have put up a respectable result, but maybe this is the winning formula to get themselves at the top of Asia, to make themselves a contender to get a land spot in the mid-season finals down in the near future, I would say.
Okay. While we have a few extra moments, who do you think so far is the top team that we've seen?
I mean, so far, I think one of the more dominant showings that we've seen was Reject, right? Although they only played against N1 Hex, which we have said on paper would be on the lower side of the leaderboard. No hate to N1 Hex, they are still doing really well to get themselves into this situation in the first place. Being able to get a direct invite to Ignite is nothing to scoff at. That is a very great result in its own right. But Reject just come in showing that they are here to play. They are here to reclaim the throne at the top of Pacific Asia that Crazy Raccoon decided to leave behind. Unfortunately, I miss Crazy Raccoon with all my life. Please come back, Crazy Raccoon. I still miss you. Every time I see CR, I'm going on a tangent. Anyway, I think Reject have been the most respectable result. Oh.
We have our interview set up and ready, Dan. I know it's not Crazy Raccoon, but maybe someday. We have Baizer instead. I'm very excited to see. We have a lot of questions to pick his brain about, because a dominant performance like that off the hands of their Gambit would really be cool to kind of pry into the mind and figure out what the timing looks like.
Soon enough, we will get Baizer with us here, but so far this international roster is still, again, doing so well right off the rip, and I'm just excited to see how they decide to cook up throughout this entire preseason and then moving into stage 1.
Hey, if this is how they want to start off day 1, imagine where we're going to be at the end of stage 2 with these teams.
And now we are ready. We got Baizer on the phone here. And now we get to get a taste of what Zero Tenacity have been cooking up here. We got Baizer here. How are you feeling after that win?
Pretty good. It was a pretty fast one, honestly, but it's a good way to start all of preseason.
So I guess first question is, I see some people in your background. Are you guys all playing together?
Yeah. We're camping in Korea currently for preseason.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. How? Just really quick, is this your first time in Korea?
Yeah. First time ever.
That's nice. How's it been so far?
It's been awesome. It's I love the place, love Seoul. My teammates are awesome, super friendly, and you know, every day is just perfect environment to keep practicing and focus up. So I'm loving it.
And I guess a little bit of a follow-up, right? You're in a different region. You've played in Ignite in Americas before. Now you're coming in overseas to the Pacific region. Have you felt any sort of difference between what you played back in Americas and comparing it to here in Pacific?
Yeah, I think I've noticed in Asia they're a lot more fan of like the triple support comps, for sure. Like you see a lot of Manta saves, but I mean the number one shift is just like, you know, they prefer to play different things, and it's a completely different shift from playing in an A. And also you do have a little bit of like the skill average as well, so it's kind of like, do you know what's good, or are you just making the best of what's going on? So, but it's been fresh and super exciting. So I'm liking it a lot.
You're one of the few players in the Pacific region who have come from a different continent and a different region of Ignite to also come over and play here. Do you feel that even though you're in a new environment, that you're still able to inject the culture of like a different style of play directly into your team to make it more unique?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've been playing competitively in Rivals for over a year and a half in an A, so a lot of like my thought process on how the game should be played, the bans, everything comes down from that. And I still talk to my friends mostly daily who are also on tier 1 teams in North America. So I do get a lot of mixed input, and it's all about kind of finding a middle ground for what works best in our region against the teams and what might actually be like true meta, I guess you could say.
And I guess another question is, I guess really the language barrier, right? You got you and Soko coming in from the Americas region into this sort of international roster. I've seen international rosters do well in the past here in Asia, but has there been any sort of difficulties? Has there been any obstacles you had to overcome this kind of language barrier?
Not necessarily in game. A lot of my teammates were Overwatch League professionals, so they, you know, in game comms, they're really good at communicating in English, and you know, the occasional Korean is spoken here and then when we need to, but you know, other than that, not really, not necessarily.
Look, you have a brand new platform on your hands. You have a whole new region of people being introduced to the Miser gameplay. Maybe new friends, maybe new enemies. Platform is yours. What do you have to say to all of them?
I hope you guys enjoy the show in Asia. Look to bring some North American flair to it. Also, I mean, look out for Z10, big plans. New video coming up today, the announcement with our first match ever. And thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys so much for casting. I hope you guys have a good night.
Thank you so much for giving us some amazing gameplay, dude. Can't wait to see more of you throughout the entire season. I'm sure this won't be the last time we interview you. You deserve a good night.
Thank you. You as well. Thank you guys.